Victory Monday in Duval. Welcome in to Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so went through the instant reactions, the instant analysis last night after the game. Not a whole lot to amend there. Everything I saw during that game pretty much held up on a second watch this morning. So right now, we're just going to take some time to praise and highlight some of the individual performances for the Jaguars that we saw in their dominant 38-10 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers in Los Angeles yesterday to move the team to 2-1 on the season. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And if you want to support the channel further, we've got our Teal Duval 1995 throwbacks available for pre-order through Tuesday, September 27th. You can go check that out at genjag.com. You can also become a channel member. We've got links in the description below. Again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for your support, Duval. Would not be here without y'all. All right, so we're going to kind of do like superlatives here. And just kind of run through different superlatives that I'm giving out for this game. Easy way to frame it. There's a ton of players that deserve credit, but I'm going to start it out right now before we get into these superlatives with the coaching staff. Every single coach in that building deserves credit, especially Doug Peterson for putting the whole thing together, putting the staff together, working with the front office this offseason to bring players in that made sense, to keep players around that made sense for the team. Those players that are in Jacksonville right now in that locker room, they're 100% bought in. They're prepared mentally. They're prepared physically. They fully understand what they're trying to do on each play and why they're trying to do it. They are a smart football team. They're a confident football team. They're a team that's playing fast on both sides of the football. And a lot of the credit goes to the players, no doubt. But they would not be put in those positions to succeed like they have been without Doug Peterson, Mike Caldwell, Press Taylor, the entire coaching staff. And even Trent Baalke deserves a lot of credit for the roster and the roster construction and having these players that can function in a way that suits the type of offense and defense that the Jaguars want to run. Lots of praise to be had on that coaching staffing and that front office. No question about it. Looking through some numbers here real quick before we start the superlatives. This team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, in the year of our Lord 2022, they're in first place in the AFC South through 3 weeks, second place in the entire AFC. They are second in the NFL in DVOA. They are first in turnover differential. They are first in turnovers forced. They are tied for the league low in sacks allowed with 2. They are fifth in points scored. They are second in point differential. They're tied for the league low in sacks allowed. As I just mentioned, I'm reading the wrong line here. They are allowing a league low 55 yards per game on the ground. All of that is just to highlight they're not just getting it done in one way or the other. They are getting it done in pretty much every facet of the game right now. And that's why you look up at the scoreboard over the last 2 weeks, and they've outscored their opponents 62-10 in the last 2 contests. 2 games that they were supposed to lose. 2 games that everyone was picking them to lose, outside of Maurice Jones-Drew and myself, and my guy Clay Harbor, who we do believe in Jaguars together. But, not a lot of people outside of Jacksonville picking the Jaguars in these games. Tons of credit to go around. Let's jump into the superlatives now. Defensive MVP. A lot of players could have qualified for this, but I got to go with Josh Allen, the Jaguars pass rusher in his 4th year in the league. He is having his best season as a pro so far, and this is why box score scouting can really get you in trouble. He did not come away with a sack. Only had 1 tackle in this game. But he was the most important player on this defense. He pressured Justin Herbert 10 times, 6 hurries, 4 quarterback hits, 22% pressure rate in this game for Josh Allen. To put some context to that, most college superstars in college do not average that type of numbers. Those type of numbers. That is all pro level of play by Josh Allen yesterday was so disruptive. Didn't matter if he was rushing off the left side, the right side. Didn't matter what type of formation the Jaguars defense was in. Josh Allen was getting after it in a major way, and he did play his best game of his career despite not picking up a sack. You know, you could argue he's had a more impactful game in terms of, you know, racking up sacks, maybe picking off passes like he did against the Bills last year. But on down to down, making an impact, making it difficult for the opposing quarterback to do anything, Josh Allen was as good as it gets today. 22% pressure rate. Again, 10 total quarterback pressures for Josh Allen in this game. I haven't seen a performance like that from a Jaguars pass rusher since 2017. Offensive MVP, Trevor Lawrence. Spread the ball around, hit a bunch of different targets, perfect timing and feel in the pocket, accurate on the run, accurate from different arm angles. Didn't matter what the Jaguars' offensive concept was in this game. Trevor was finding a way to execute it at a high level. 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 260-something yards, was not sacked. Masterful performance by Trevor Lawrence. Again, a lot of credit to go around on this offense. That's why we're going to go beyond just the defensive MVP and the offensive MVP. We're going to go into the air player of the game on offense now. Since Trevor Lawrence won MVP, he's not going to win air player of the game on offense. Zay Jones is going to get that award for a 10-catch effort, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Those numbers, I mean, they're not crazy. They're really good. They're very good. And he was their leading receiver, both in catches and yards. But 10 catches for 85 yards isn't that eye-popping. It was how he did it. It was how this offense was operating. He was a target hog in this one. Again, 10 catches. That's really awesome. But the way he was getting open, the way he was giving effort when he had the football in his hands, the way he just seemed to know and feel the football field, know where he needed to be, know where the ball needed to be placed, know where defenders were that were trying to stop him from picking up first downs or whatever it may be, and two or three plays that really illustrate that here. His touchdown catch. Trevor Lawrence, he gets pressure up the middle. He escapes the pocket to the right. As soon as that happens, you can see Zay Jones looking in the backfield, realizing what's happening, and he's running a route towards the middle of the field that's going to take him left. He stops his route, he flips his hips, he turns around, he starts sprinting to the right to give Trevor Lawrence an option, to give him a target, to make himself available. Trevor finds him, and boom, just like that, it's 6 points on the board for the Jaguars. That was beautiful. He had another one where he just catches a screen pass right at the line of scrimmage, and he didn't get crazy amount of yards or anything. I think he picked up a handful of yards. But he does a spin move. You see a stiff arm. On a couple other instances, you saw him cut and go and make some defenders look silly. You also saw him on the left side of the field on a third down. Defender is making contact with him prior to reaching the marker, but Zay Jones, with his physicality and understanding of where he is on the football field, he's able to reach that ball out and get the first down pretty easily, despite the defender making contact a good bit before the first down marker. He was unbelievable for the Jaguars yesterday. And this was the connection you saw from Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones build throughout training camp. It really came to life in this one. And you feel really good for Zay Jones because he's completely bought in. He's a leader on this team, and he's a quirky guy, right? No question about it. But he's a quirky guy who is dedicated to what this team is doing, who is dedicated to what Doug Peterson is teaching him, and dedicated to trying to help this football team out. You love to see it from Zay Jones. All right, the air player of the game on defense. There were some good candidates here. Definitely there was. But I got to go with Devin Lloyd, the Jaguars' rookie off-ball linebacker, who has now stacked two of the most impressive performances I've ever seen from Jaguars linebackers. I mean, dating back to 5+ years in the past. I mean, the Jaguars have had some amazing linebackers. Mike Peterson, Daryl Smith, Paul Posluszny, Kevin Hardy. There's been a ton of really good linebackers in Jacksonville through the years. Devin Lloyd's playing at a level as high as any of those players have in the past right now over these last 2 games. And look, he's a rookie, I know. And yeah, we're praising this team. It's only been 3 games. I realize that. But we're talking about what has happened to this point. And what has happened is Devin Lloyd, despite getting off to a slow start in the first game of the season, he has stacked 2 consecutive games where he has been completely dominant in coverage. He's been dominant in pursuit against the run. Picked up 3 pass breakups in this one and an interception, which I'm sure he's kicking himself for not keeping his footing and finding the end zone because he had a clear shot at it looked like. But the interception was a huge play. It happened in Chargers territory. It gave the Jaguars offense tremendous field position. Then he had a pass breakup in single coverage on Gerald Everett, who is one of the more athletic tight ends in the league, down the field. Just coverage that is so tight. There's no room for the ball to be complete, and got his hand up, of course, as well. And then he had another one over the middle of the field where he was able to get his hand in there and break up another pass. He was really good against the run too, but just the fact that he picked up the interception, he had 2 big pass breakups down the field besides the interception. Devin Lloyd, he really deserves credit here, and he's the air player of the game for the defense. Now, looking at the ground player of the game on the offensive side of the ball. Both ball carriers deserve a lot of credit for the Jaguars when you talk about Travis Etienne and James Robinson. But I'm giving it to J-Rob. Unbelievable how he's playing football right now. Today is the 9-month anniversary of his Achilles injury, and he's out here playing the best ball of his life. Looks like he's in the best shape of his life. 17 carries for 100 yards, a 50-yard touchdown run on 4th and 1, which was just a beautifully called play and executed to perfection by the offensive line and by James Robinson, cutting it out at the perfect time and housing it. It was beautiful. 46 yards after contact for James Robinson on the day. He was breaking tackles. He was making people miss. He was looking excellent. 3 10-plus yard runs for James Robinson. He was getting it done, getting the dirty work done, but he was also busting off. It wasn't just the 50-yarder. 3 10-yard runs. 3 10-plus yard runs. Really good stuff for J-Rob. Defensive ground player of the game. A number of players could have taken this one, right? You had Foley Fatukasi playing great defense against the run. You had Trayvon Walker playing great defense against the run. You had Rayshon Jenkins being a great run-filling safety. You had Devin Lloyd playing really, really strongly against the run. You had Foye Oluokun making a bunch of run stops. But between all those players, I got to give it to Trayvon Walker. I thought he made the most impressive run stop of the day when he was able to essentially beat Austin Eckler and force him out of bounds on a key 3rd and 1 early in the game. They tried to block him with Gerald Everett, which was obviously a mistake. Everett was trying to pin Walker inside, which he had no chance of doing. Walker, he flew down the line of scrimmage. He kept contained. He kept the inside unavailable for Austin Eckler, who eventually ran out of space and had to run out of bounds. Trayvon Walker wasn't the only one in on that play, but he was the primary reason that Eckler could not get that first down, and that was one of those plays that set the tone for this defense. He had 2 total stops. Just Trayvon Walker deserves so much credit for his buy-in against the run. And we knew that was the type of player he was coming into Jacksonville. We knew he was a great run defender, but to continue doing that at this level, at such a high level for Trayvon Walker, has been a lot of fun to see so far. And just that play really illustrated how physically strong he is and how athletic he is, forcing Eckler out of bounds. I loved it. Special teams player of the week. It can be none other than Riley Patterson, who was masterful for the Jaguars as a kicker. None of his kicks, his field goals, were overly difficult, right? But he was 3 of 3 on field goals, 3 of 3 on extra points, scored 12 total points for the team. And what I'm most impressed about from him this week, 8 kickoffs, 6 touchbacks. You do not see him doing that a lot. He's kind of struggled with his consistency getting the ball out of the back of the end zone, making it unreturnable. 6 touchbacks on 8 kickoffs. You love to see that for Riley Patterson, who looks like he's building confidence and building chemistry and just kind of finding his way here for the Jaguars as their place kicker. That is going to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in, Duval. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar, at Generation Jag. Please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you want to support the channel further, you can go pick up a new hat, shirt, whatever you want over on genjag.com. You can also become a channel member. Thanks again for tuning in, Duval, and have a great rest of your Victory Monday.